Learning outcomes. After studying this module, you shall be able to know the relationship between e-commerce and entrepreneur, learn the factors that should be considered before starting the online business, describe the advantages of using internet in business, learn the various strategies for e-success, learn the meaning, advantages and disadvantages of franchising, describe the important things to be considered before buying a franchisee, analyze the advantages and disadvantages of acquiring an established business, know the important things to be considered before buying an existing business. Now let's talk about the introduction to the module. In this module, we will be talking about three main things. First being e-commerce, second being franchising, and third is acquiring an existing business. Let's talk about e-commerce and entrepreneurship first. Business in its traditional sense as an economic activity has been going on for centuries now. But the information technology has completely transformed the way business is being done today. Electronic commerce or e-commerce is conducting any business activity, that is buying and selling of goods and services, transmitting data or funds etc. through electronic or information technology means, primarily the internet. E-commerce has brought a complete revolution not only for the existing businesses but also for new business venture that is being planned. No entrepreneur can afford to ignore the impact of internet on business. In fact, it is being said that business which are ignoring internet these days might be running the risk of being obsolete. In short, internet has connected the producer, the seller and the consumer with each other in ways that has never been possible before, and hardly any firm can ignore the internet in today's highly competitive environment. Now, selling through internet can have many benefits. Let's talk about some of these. First, since it is not very costly to make a website, the entrepreneur can, without much additional cost, expand into the global markets. If consumers can view, order and receive products without visiting the store, they might be given more business due to increased convenience. Apart from the existing customers, the businesses can attract new customers as well through the internet. It is easier to interact with customers on regular basis through the internet. This can help the business to enhance customer satisfaction and service. It's faster, easier and more convenient to transfer funds online. For a company which has only been conducting business online, the cost of doing business might be lower than the traditional brick and mortar model. Ability to reach, inform and educate customers becomes easier with internet. Convenience due to online shopping can lead to new business opportunities. Opportunity to bring better efficiency to business operations like purchasing and inventory control is also possible with internet. Better sales control through the use of internet is another advantage. Opportunity to have better management of brand is also very big advantage that the businesses can have with the use of internet. This can also be used to build credibility in the market. Internet also brings level playing field with larger competitors because it is the website and the product which become more important online. Now, there are certain factors that have to be considered before launching an e-commerce business. In spite of internet offering so many advantages, not all businesses have taken the e-commerce route. Certain important points should be considered before jumping into the online business. Let's discuss few of these. First, the company should be ready to integrate the web in its overall strategy. The company should be willing to exploit the opportunity that the web has to offer to transform the relationship it has with customers, suppliers, or any other stakeholders. Third, to be able to create a meaningful presence online, the company has to invest resources like time, effort, money and talent. Thus, the company should be ready to give 100% to this. Fourth, once you have entered into the online business, it is very difficult to move out. Thus, the company should be ready for long-term commitment with the customers and the stakeholders. The fifth being, the company will also have to continuously monitor the sales performance to analyze how much benefit is the firm getting from the web. Entering into the online business makes sense only if it is leading to better relationship with the customers and other stakeholders, thus giving more business to the firm. As easy as it sounds, doing business on the web may not be so, and therefore certain decisions should be taken before plunging into the online business. Few of these are: first, what exactly will be the purpose and objectives of the website? Second, how much investment is the business ready to make in the online business, and how much is the rate of return expected from that? Third, ascertaining the type of resources that will be needed for such a business, and does the company have sufficient funds? Fourth, determining the target customers of the firm and what kind of website will be suitable for them. Fifth, is the good or service being offered by the firm well suited to be sold online? Sixth, how will the order fulfillment of those placed online be handled by the firm? Seventh, determining the customer service policy. Eighth, will the company go for online transactions also in the website? If yes, how will it ensure privacy and security? Ninth, will the company have any return policy on the products sold? If yes, what is the rules and regulations regarding that? 10th, how will the company measure the success of the website and what will be the control process? Now let's discuss certain points to be kept in mind in the e-commerce business. First, it is neither very easy nor very cheap to set up business on the web. Second, customers do not flock to every website or online business that is launched. Every business has to make efforts to attract the customers. Third, both privacy and security are important issues on the web. Fourth, technology is only a part of the e-commerce business. There are many other things that have to be taken care of. Fifth, every business should have a comprehensive strategies for e-business. Sixth, the customers are most important, whether it is e-business or traditional brick and mortar store. Seventh, it's never too late to go online. Now we need to discuss certain strategies for e-success. Any entrepreneur would start and continue with something only if he feels that it is fruitful to him in the long run. For succeeding in e-commerce, a firm can follow certain strategies like: first, focusing on a niche market. Rather than trying to compete head on with big firms who have enough resources to squash the small players in the market, small firms should focus on niche in the market. A niche market is a subset of the market on which a specific product is focused, that is, a small but profitable segment of a market suitable for focused attention by a marketer. The idea is to concentrate on a smaller market segment which might have been ignored or where the competition is less. Because of its broad reach, web has the ability to help the small businesses to attract sufficient number of niche customers which might not have been possible before. Second is to develop a community, bringing like-minded customers together to discuss the topics of their choice can help the firm in a number of ways. Sometimes the suggestions and feedback given by these customers help the firm develop better products. Also, these people might have knowledge about competitors' product. The traffic on the website increases whenever these people want to come and discuss the topics of their choice amongst themselves. In this regard, blogs, customer polls, chat rooms, message boards and guest books might be useful tools. Third, attracting customers by giving away freebies. Free has always attracted customers, whether it is the brick and mortar model or the online business. More and more number of customers visiting your website, more are your chances of converting it into sale. But whatever is being given free should be something that the customer values. It is not necessary that it has to be a product. It can also be something intangible like information or expert advice, etc. Fourth, using email but not spamming. If used creatively, email can be an important and cost-effective tool to attract potential customers to your website. As mentioned above, even email's content should be useful to the customer and should direct them to the company's website for more information or special deals, unlike unsolicited emails called the spams. Fifth, building a credible website. Unless the customers trust the company's website, it is virtually impossible to make online sale. Many research and security issues are leading inhibitors. The company should ensure web privacy and security on its website. Sixth, forming strategic alliances. Most small companies seeking e-success lack the brand recognition that big companies enjoy. Hence, it might be useful to form strategic alliances with companies that have already established themselves and whose brand name is recognized by the customers. This might help to save a lot of small companies time and effort, both of which are very scarce for them. Seventh, make most of the web's global reach. Unlike before, now even the tiniest of businesses can engage on global business initiative with the help of a well-designed website. But a lot of time and effort needs to be put in this, and the companies should always design the website keeping in mind the features of the customers they are targeting. For example, giving due consideration to language, culture, buying habits of the people of the target country. Eighth, making use of social media. Social media has become a very popular way of discovering and researching brands, writing product reviews, asking questions, reporting complaints or satisfaction. Consumers are spending a lot of their time on internet and social media or the networking websites. Businesses should strategically choose the social media platforms because each social network has different audience and demographics. Ninth, using both online and offline tools to promote your website. Entrepreneur should use promotional tools both online and offline which will help bringing more traffic to the website. One of the ways can be to put company's web address on anything and everything that the company publishes like letterheads, shopping bags, business cards, advertisements, etc. 10th, developing an effective search engine optimization strategy. Online shoppers are increasingly using search engines while shopping. Therefore, web search strategies have become essential part of online companies' promotion strategy. Research studies have shown that most common tool that the online shoppers use while shopping is the search engine. The companies not only strive to have effective search engine marketing techniques but also to maintain them over time. For a website to appear on top or near the top, the company needs to manage design, content, titles, keywords, features, etc. accordingly. This is also called search engine optimization or SEO. 11th, tracking web results. The entrepreneur continuously monitor and analyze the performance of the website, that is, its ability to attract customers, make sale and keep the customers coming back. Web analytics can be used for this. Now the next topic that we need to discuss is franchising. Let's first see the meaning, advantages and disadvantages of franchising. In this arrangement, a franchisee, that is a semi-independent business owner, pays royalty or fees or both to the franchisor who is the parent company in return for the rights to sell its product or services or to be identified with its trademark or both. Franchisees, unlike the franchisors, do not have the right to run the business autonomously. Although they might have their own business, but its operation is highly controlled by the franchisor. They have to follow the system developed by the franchisor. While an auto dealership is a classic product franchise, McDonald's is an example of the classic business format franchise. Much of the franchising's popularity arises from its ability to offer those who lack business experience the chance to own and operate a business with a high probability of success. Franchising's reach now extends far beyond the traditional fast food outlets and auto dealerships. Some of the other fields include oil lubrication, gas station, automotive service, restaurants, etc. The franchisor has the benefits of expanding his business on limited capital and growing without developing key managers internally. The franchisee also receives many key benefits like management training and counseling, customer appeal of a brand name, standardized quality of goods and services, national advertising programs, financial assistance, proven products and business formats, centralized buying power, territorial protection, and greater chances for success. Potential franchisees should be aware about the disadvantages involved in buying a franchisee. These can be franchisee fees and profit sharing, strict adherence to standardized operations, restrictions on purchasing, limited product lines, possible ineffective training programs, and less freedom. Now let's discuss things to be considered while buying a franchise. A thorough investigation before investing in a franchise reduces the risk of being hoodwinked into a non-existent franchise or a system that is destined to fail. Asking the right question and resisting the urge to rush into an investment decision helps the potential franchisees avoid unscrupulous franchisors. To buy a franchise the right way requires that you first evaluate yourself. That is, study your own goals, traits, experience, qualification, expectation, risk orientation, likes, dislikes, etc. before looking at any franchise. Second, research your market. That is, to do a thorough research of the area you want to serve before signing up for any franchise. Third, consider your franchise options. Don't just jump onto the first franchise opportunity that comes your way. Instead, search for the best franchise for yourself from many options available in the business world today. Make sure to steer clear of the franchisees which are just like a passing fad. Fourth, get a copy of the franchisor's FTD and study it. Once you have narrowed down to your franchise options, get a franchisor's disclosure document, that is the FTD, from each one of them and study it carefully. Fifth, talk to the existing franchisees. Talking to the existing franchise owners can give you a good idea about the advantages and disadvantages and whether the franchisor has delivered what he promised at the time of the agreement. Sixth, ask the franchisor some tough questions. Get to know about his philosophy, his expectation, terms of agreement, degree of freedom given to the franchisee, methods adopted to resolve conflicts, plans for expansion, etc. Seventh, and only then you make your choice. It should fit your dream and match your personality. Now, the third topic that we need to discuss today is acquiring an established business. Creating a new business always involves a great amount of risk. Purchasing a good existing venture rather than starting a new one is one of the ways to minimize this risk. Even though it might seem that acquiring an existing business might have lesser risk than creating a new one, but this is only true if the entrepreneur does thorough analysis and evaluation to ensure that the business meets his customers and markets needs and expectations. Thus, a good assessment of the business, its earning potential and the opportunity it presents is very important before you consider buying it. Let's see the advantages of acquiring an existing business. First, successful business often continue to be successful. This might be due to the solid customer base, good relationship with the critical stakeholders, goodwill, etc., which will help the business in the long run. Second, leveraging the experience of the previous owner. Previous owner may share his experiences and the new owner can learn without making the mistakes that the previous owner made. Third, revenues. The revenues start very soon if you buy an already established and profitable business, unlike when you start a business on your own. Fourth, established location, employees, suppliers and other stakeholders. The entrepreneur does not need to worry about these things as these are already in place. Fifth, production and inventory procedures are set. The production equipment is already installed and the buyer can assess the condition of the plant before buying it. Sixth, easier access to financing and trade credit. An established and profitable business can have easier terms of franchising as well as trade credit as compared to a new venture which is laden with uncertainty, which means higher risk. Buying an existing business might also have certain disadvantages such as first, cost. Because of the business idea, concept development, customer base, suppliers, branding, etc. have already been taken care of, it is usually more expensive to buy an established business. Second, profitability. One of the reasons businesses is on sale might be because it is no longer or it was never profitable. The company's financial statements should be thoroughly checked. Third, current employees. The employees of the current owner might not be able or willing to adapt to new owner's vision and management style. Fourth, challenge of implementing changes. As mentioned earlier, it becomes very difficult for the new owner to change the precedents set by the previous owner. Hiring, firing, compensation, promotion policies for the employees, company policies with customers, etc. are not easy to change. Fifth, business may be overpriced. The business that the new owner buys might not be of as much value as much it had been paid for. A buyer should carefully value the assets and the liabilities of the business he is thinking of buying. Thus, the entrepreneur should take the decision of buying an existing business very carefully, keeping in mind both pros and cons. Next, we should discuss the things to be considered while buying an existing business. The entrepreneur should keep the following steps in mind while buying an existing business. First, the entrepreneur should conduct a self-audit, that is, objectively analyze his abilities, skills and personal interests to determine the business suitable for him. Second, develop a list of criteria and parameters that the potential business proposition should definitely meet. Third, search and prepare a list of potential candidates that meet the criteria determined in the above step. The entrepreneur can take the help of internet, industry contacts, banks, etc. for this purpose. Fourth, conduct due diligence, that is, after the entrepreneur has a list of potential businesses, he should thoroughly study, investigate and review the potential acquisition targets that meet his criteria. This due diligence process involves analyzing motivation to sell, asset valuation, market potential, legal issues and financial condition. The entrepreneur should try to minimize the risks and the problems while buying a business. After making the final choice of the business to buy, the entrepreneur can explore various financing options for the deal. After getting a fair idea about how much and from where the money can be arranged, the entrepreneur can negotiate a reasonable deal with the existing owner, taking into consideration results of the due diligence. Lastly, if the deal goes through, the entrepreneur then faces the responsibility of ensuring a smooth transition from existing to the new ownership. This is as important, or in some cases more important, than other steps that have been mentioned here, because the valued employees need to be comforted and reassured that they are not threatened. Otherwise, if they leave, the acquisition loses its purpose. Thus, proper communication with the existing employees is most crucial. After studying all of these three topics, let us quickly summarize. First, electronic commerce or e-commerce is conducting any business activity through electronic or information technology means, primarily the internet. Second, internet has connected the producer, seller and consumer with each other in a way that has never been possible before, and hardly any firm can ignore it in today's highly competitive environment. Third, selling through the web can have many benefits, but certain important points should be considered and some important decisions should be taken before jumping into online business. Fourth, strategies for e-success include focusing on a niche market, developing a community, attracting customers by giving away freebies, using email but not spamming, building a credible website, forming strategic alliances, making most of web's global reach, making use of social media, using both online and offline tools to promote your website, developing an effective search engine optimization strategy and tracking web results. Franchising is an arrangement where the franchisee pays royalties or fees or both to the franchisor in return for the right to sell its product or services or to be identified with its trademark or both. Franchisee should be aware about the advantages and disadvantages of franchising before jumping into it. To buy a franchisee the right way requires you to evaluate yourself, consider your franchise options, get a copy of the franchisor's FDD, study it, talk to the existing franchisees, ask the franchisors some tough questions, and only then make your choice. Next, creating a new business involves a great amount of risk. So, purchasing a good existing venture rather than starting a new one is one of the ways to minimize this risk. But this is only true if the entrepreneur does thorough analysis and evaluation to ensure that the business meets his customers and market's needs and expectations. There are various advantages and disadvantages of acquiring an existing business. Thus, the entrepreneur should know the right steps involved in buying an existing business.